Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are watching this. I want to welcome you to a brand new week, and I believe that this week is going to be a very productive and excellent week for everyone. So, quick one, and here is my view on USDJPY this week. It's one of my favorite pairs that I used to trade, and uh, I will appreciate if you don't take this as a financial advice, and it's just my own personal view of overall market uh, trend for this present week. So before we do that, the first thing that we will do is to understand what is the previous market reaction for last week. So to check that, so first of all know what is the reaction of the trade. And don't forget, I told you earlier that before you make your analysis, you have to know these five things must be in your 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 thoughts before you place your trade on the market. So what is the market structure? Presently, the market structure, as you can see, is that the market is currently moving towards the upward side. So from the weekly time frame, so let's see the trend. So the trend is currently on uptrend. So as you can see from my analysis here, the trend is on uptrend. So it shows that the buyer are still in control of this trade. So now let's identify the area of strength and weakness of last week. So let's see where the market opens and closed for last week. So here is last week candlestick. This bullish engulfing candlestick is uh, last week candlestick. So here is the high of the markets for last week, and here is where the market opens from. Market open from here, and the market closes at this particular area. So I'm still going to adjust this so that it will fit in the candlestick. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm still going to adjust it. So let me adjust it to fit in. So that's the eyes of the market for last week. Excuse me. So let me go to properly. I'll see check the coordinates, but just to save some little time, that's why I'm doing this. So that's for last week. So that was the movement for last week. But we believe that the market is still going to go to upward side because we can see from this week that the market break out from this particular resistance line. You break it out, then he has to pull back to it. So we still will need to wait for confirmation before we trade this trade. So we hope that this present candlestick that is still moving is going to close on a bullish. So let's see the previous trend of this trade. So we can see that from here I was a break here. The market moved back to this line, and after it closes here, they still have to move back. But we need to, that means this area is a very strong area that the market is going to show some reaction. So we need to wait for a solid body candlestick to break. this particular zone. So it has become a zone. That place has already become a zone. So actually the market is going to go up. So here is going to be our target. Let me draw our target for this week. So here is going to be our target. So we expect that this market is going to move down to this area. That is not our target for the week, but that's where the market is heading to. That's where the market is heading to. So we still need to wait for confirmation before we do that. So we still need to wait for confirmation. So let me look for the position. We are going for a long position. Unless we want to buy USD JPY. So this is overall target. Here is our overall target, and here is going to be the stop loss is too wide, but we need to wait for confirmation before we enter the trade. So we cannot just enter in this trade. So that means we are you risking how many how many pips? Let me see. No, it's going to be very much. We are not going to enter the trade anyhow. So we are risking 224 pips. Then to get what? To get let's see. Come down a little bit. To get 776 pips. So that's what we are risking. So we are risking two something to get 700 pips. So that's what we will still need to wait for before we place our trade. So that's the our view for this week. So we need to wait for confirmation before we enter the trade. So don't just put your money on this trade yet until when we receive a confirmation. And what let's see it on the daily time frame. You can see that on daily the market actually move upward here and down here and move up. So we need to wait that there's going to be a retracement of this particular trade on a daily time frame. So let's see it's going to give us at least 50% retracement or otherwise. So we need to wait before we place the trade. So here might be a possible entry for us. Here may be a possible entry, and also here may be another possible entry. So let me put it there. A possible entry for us. Possible entry for a buy. So this 50% retracement can be our possible area to buy. Maybe a possible area to buy this trade. Yeah, or here. So either of the two places can be our possible area to buy. So let me draw a dotted line here. So, Yahweh Sabaoth, Yahweh Sabaoth, the King, the good Yahweh Sabaoth. on 1 hour candles time frame, let's see what we have here. So I'm still going to adjust that. Can see that the market is really retracing, but we need to wait for confirmation before we buy. Can't just buy blindly. So we buy with precision. We buy with precision. So we don't buy blindly. So we have seen the direction of the trade. Having seen the direction, we have to wait for confirmation. Here also can also be our area of entry, but we have to wait for confirmation. Let me also put it there as well. So we have another area of entry here. There can also be here also can be our entry. What's wrong?